talk a little bit about Joe Biden and how he just caused the whole crypto market to crash. Alright, there's not going to be so much editing in this video. This is probably going to be a 1-hour video. Just kidding. Probably going to be 10 minutes. Just driving around and talking to you guys, vlogging, because everything else seems to be boring at this time. And there's nothing so much, going on at this very, very moment. So, talking about Joe Biden implementing the 44.4%, by the way, tax implementation on capital gains. So, obviously, that's very, very bearish for a lot of reasons. People don't want to essentially, buy crypto right now and then get taxed. Now, we don't know that. No one knows for a fact that this bill is going to get passed. It's possible that the bill will get passed, and if the bill does get passed, then obviously you could expect a massive crash. But assuming the bill doesn't pass, which I don't think it will, we're probably going to see a massive pump. Now, if you guys are in my Telegram channel, you guys saw that I did take this opportunity to long Bitcoin. I don't think that the bill is going to get passed. I mean, the last time that this happened was, I believe, when Carter was president, and guess what happened? He lost the election. So you could probably think that Donald Trump is going to win the election. We're most likely going to see a bull run by the end of 2024, and things are probably going to be pretty good overall. But we saw that every time there is a political event or a war event, we see that the stock market, crypto market, usually tends to crash. Gold skyrockets to the moon. People don't believe in stocks anymore, in crypto. They think that everything's going to go to shit, and that precious metals such as silver and gold is pretty much going to go up. So, yes, I'm a big believer of gold. I think you should be buying gold. But at the end of the day, there's also an infinite amount of gold, okay? I mean, a lot of people won't tell you this. I think that gold can be mined. I think if you dig deeper and deeper, you could always find gold. And it's very different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoins, right? No Bitcoin can ever be mined after 21 million. And the reason why we have these halvings every 4 years is, so we prevent inflation from happening. That's why Bitcoin goes up so high. But moving on and talking and going back to the 44.4% tax or capital gain tax that Joe Biden wants to do, why is everyone selling? You might think that people will essentially, buy, and that it's going to go to the moon, and it's bullish news overall. Well, if people buy Bitcoin now, assuming that the 44.4% tax does happen, not saying that it will happen, but it does happen, then people are going to get taxed like half. So the reason why people are selling is in case it does get approved, then, you could be buying Bitcoin at, half of what it is now. So $32,000 or $33,000, right? So that's the reason why a lot of people are essentially selling Bitcoin, because assuming that it does get approved, then it's going to go to $32,000, assuming it does, because no one wants to essentially pay almost a 50% tax on Bitcoin. It just doesn't make any sense. And yes, for the people who are holding long term and aren't paying taxes and are probably in Dubai, which is one of the biggest crypto hubs, then it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, whether this does get accepted or whether it does or doesn't get accepted, I don't think that in the long term or even medium term it's going to affect the whole crypto market. I think that in the long term, people are going to move out of the United States, whether that's giving out their citizenship, giving it up, or going to Dubai or Portugal or any of these free tax hubs or crypto capital gain tax hubs that you could essentially take advantage of. So I think that's what will happen. We know a lot of people are in Dubai right now, and pretty much that's about it. Now, talking about the halving, I know we talk about the 44.4% capital gain that Biden wants to do. Let's talk about the halving that happened last week. A lot of people thought that Bitcoin was essentially going to explode, and a lot of people were bullish. A lot of people were longing. They thought that it was going to be a party, etc. Well, we know that historically every halving, it's not like that. Historically, before and after the halving, we actually usually see a dump or consolidation, and that's exactly what we are seeing right now. we're actually seeing a very, very good consolidation on Bitcoin. And historically, the price tells us that we won't actually see a pump on Bitcoin until a few weeks from now. This is assuming, there's no more wars going on, China doesn't invade Taiwan, the war in Russia and Ukraine doesn't get more heated up, Israel and the Middle East and Iran doesn't get more heated up. So obviously that's assuming, there's no more wars. Obviously there's not another COVID that will happen, and etc. So that's my thoughts on that. So we know that the halving, we're one week post halving right now. So we have about 4.5, 5 weeks before Bitcoin actually goes to, 80, 90, $100,000 in my opinion. I think once Bitcoin goes to these levels, we're going to see a new bull market for altcoins. So that's when we're going to see altcoins surging. We're going to see shitcoin surging. We're going to see meme coins go up. And talking about gold and silver, we're probably going to see gold and silver coming down unless there's another, disaster happening right now worldwide. So we know inflation right now is very, very bad. When inflation is bad, people invest in Bitcoin, people invest in precious metals such as gold and silver. So but historically knows that when gold goes down, Bitcoin goes up. I mean, that's kind of how it's been a little bit. It's not always the case, but usually the stock market, or Bitcoin, is a little bit pegged to the stock market, and pretty much that's about it. So we're gonna have to see how the next few weeks does play out. It's definitely gonna be interesting in my opinion. Obviously, I mean, there's nothing too much to talk about right here. I mean, besides the 44.4% capital gain tax that Biden wants to do. I think he's going to fail. I think people are not going to vote past that. I think a lot of people are going to vote, but most of the people are not going to essentially accept that law. And I mean, 50% is just crazy, guys. And we're not just talking right now on Bitcoin, right? We're talking on anything you make profit on. So whether that's a stock market, whether that's gold, silver, whether that's oil, whether that's any of these things right now, I mean, you could see things really, go down. So obviously that's what's happening right now in the world. That's why the stock market's dumping. That's why crypto's dumping. But I think this crypto recovery will be, it will be covered very, very fast in my opinion. And it's only in a matter of hours, if not days, before everything goes up again. Because we all know, guys, realistically, this bill is not going to pass. I mean, there's no way. I know a lot of people have been complaining and they're like, oh, Biden's not going to win the election. But this bill, guys, is just not going to pass. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense in my opinion. There's a lot of people who need that it needs to go through, and at the end of the day before this bill does get passed. So anyway, so that's my podcast for today, guys. If you guys do like this video, of course, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, leave a like, and I will see you guys in my next video.